because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
People even calling me, asking me about him, you know, and I don't know him from a can of paint. He even mentioned my name, saying that I know. I know what I know. I don't know what he knows, but I do know this.
Let me spill the tea. That's flooding the streets right now. Something unthinkable just happened. Jay-Z, the king of cool, the man who's always kept his composure, broke down and cried for help in public. Can you believe it? This isn't your typical celebrity drama, honey. We're talking about Hove, the guy who's always had it all together, suddenly showing a side of himself we've never seen before. Picture this, Jay-Z standing in front of everyone, tears streaming down his face. It's like seeing Superman without his cape. The streets are buzzing, saying it was a total shock. Nobody saw it coming. One minute he's Jay-Z, it's the hip-hop mogul, Beyonce's other half, and the next he's just a man, vulnerable and asking for help. But here's the real question, what could make Jay-Z crack like that? What's going on behind those designer shades? Trust me, we're about to dive deep into this tea because there's definitely more to this story than meets the eye.
I give my opinion, and it seems to make a lot of people upset, you know, but then a lot of people love my opinion. That's why you bring me on here, and I really appreciate that, brother. I just want to say this before we get started, Art, is that, you know, a lot of people think I came here to bring a black man down, and that's what I hear in the comments a whole lot, but it was nothing like that. You know, a black man didn't cuss a dead man's mother out. A black man didn't set his friends up and put them in a situation where they couldn't come home to their families no more. A black man didn't reach back and help the people that helped them make it up the ladder. It was Puffy. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of Puffy going on different platforms talking about how he loved the people that we was all with, how he loved the people that helped him, when in fact, none of that stuff was true. So my whole thing about it is, man, I appreciate your platform for letting me, you know, voice my opinion. And like I said, opinions like an asshole. Some of these cats out here get paid for their asshole. I get paid to give my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, yeah, you just on here giving your opinion, man. I mean, you was one of the people that was real close to the situation, so why not?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So with that being said, right, the last interview me and you did was a day after the raid. And when you look at everything now, man, how you feel about everything? It's been like a week, you know, you knowing Diddy, you being around Diddy. Could you ever imagine that his houses would get raided for sex trafficking?
Bro, you can't imagine no stuff like that. You understand? You can't think that, because back then, he wasn't Brother Love. He was Puffy. All the way up until he became Diddy. So his behavior over the years has changed.
All right, let's spill some more of this piping hot tea about Jay-Z's breakdown. What's really going on with our boy? The streets are saying there's a lot more to this story than just a bad day. First things first, we gotta talk about Jay's past. Growing up in the Marcy Projects wasn't an easy life, Chili. That kind of upbringing can leave some serious scars. And even though he's come a long way from those days, that trauma doesn't just disappear because you got a few platinum records. But it's not just about the past. Being on top of the game comes with its own set of problems. The pressure to stay relevant in the music industry is real. One minute you're hot, the next you're not. Jay-Z's been trying to keep that crown for decades now. And that kind of pressure has got to take a toll on a man's mind, you feel me? And let's not forget about all the recent drama in Jay's life. Remember the whole elevator incident with Solange? That was just the tip of the iceberg. The streets have been buzzing about Trouble in Paradise with Beyonce for years now. Now, I'm not saying all the rumors are true, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire.
Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
We need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
Speaking of Queen Bey, let's talk about what it must be like being married to literal royalty. Can you imagine the pressure of being Beyonce's husband? And don't get me wrong, it's probably amazing, but also kind of terrifying. It's like, how do you even keep up with that? Then there's family life. Jay's got 3 kids now, and being a dad isn't easy, especially when you're trying to run an empire at the same time. Blue Ivy is growing up fast, and the twins are still little. That's a lot to juggle, even for someone like Jay-Z. But here's the reality. The music industry isn't exactly known for being kind to people's mental health. It's all about the image, the persona. You've got to be tough. You've got to be invincible. But underneath all that, these artists are just people, and people break sometimes. So when we see Jay-Z crying out for help, maybe what we're really seeing is a man who's been carrying too much for too long. The weight of his past, the pressure of his present, and the uncertainty of his future are all coming crashing down.
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress,
yeah,
who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go, nowhere. Which is where people like me step in. You Right, I go to Diddy parties. To walk mother out! Cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce, and I say that women do have a
that country album, and any of you that buy that shit stupid as shit.
you don't give it
It's
no
trap music with goddamn a holster and a pad.